All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. It is 3:33. So we're going to get started. Thank you, everybody, for being here for our December board meeting. Wendy, hello. We have an agenda with a few items on it today of importance, of course. Our last meeting of the year before our organizational meeting in January. I believe that members of the board have received the minutes of the last meeting in November, and I trust everybody's had the chance to review them since they were distributed last week. Is there any changes? If not, I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes from the November 18th board meeting. We have a motion. Mike, thank you. Do we have a second? Chris, thank you. Any further discussion on the minutes? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Chairman's remarks. I'm going to save some remarks for the end of the meeting because I think there's some things we should cover briefly at least. But I would now like to turn it over to the executive director to give her report. Jess.
Okay. So just general updates on our city ARPA and land bank initiative projects. The land bank was due to close today on the sale of 33 Elm Street. And we wish that buyer all the best in their home ownership endeavor. The closing for 8 Gray Street is not too far behind. Again, we're just waiting on final closing tasks and final commitment. 170 Waller Street is listed for sale. We've had some offers come in, but those individuals and families don't qualify under our program. It's the offers that we've received are from folks that are from either out of state or from downstate, and our disposition policy requires that folks reside in our area or in an adjoining county for at least 12 months prior to the disposition of a property. So, I mean, we could certainly give it a little bit more time. Our thought process is to drop the price. Give
That's
it a
been
little
our
bit more
traditional
time.
approach.
Yep. And then, see where we go from there. But still, it's a beautiful house. And we have had some interest and we've had a lot of showings. Just no formal offers.
Which one was that again?
170 Waller Street.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would say it's one of the nicest
It's
ones we've ever
gorgeous.
done. Beautiful. Yep.
It's historical and it's beautiful.
Yep.
The project at 5 Tremont Ave, we're waiting for city code to issue permits to get underway. There's a resolution on today's agenda for 27 Columbia Ave. We received 4 bids or 3 bids. Sorry,
I think it was 3.
3 bids. 3 bids at our recent bid opening. Bob Chan of Vision Build Holdings is getting underway with the project at 21 Walnut Street. Actually, today, one of our construction managers is actually maybe still meeting with him on site as it relates to the work that he's done thus far, like a roof, some framing, some installation, things like that. So she's just meeting him on site to go over all that, learn about a little bit more about the project, and just confirm that the work that he's done to date has been completed, similarly to what we did with 3 King Avenue. We plan to reissue the RFP for the purchase and redevelopment 181 Holly Street soon with a few minor tweaks. There's been a handful of items that have just come as a priority before that, but I promise we will get to it. Our county ARPA and land bank initiative demo project updates. With the completion of our most recent round of demos, we don't have any properties in our inventory right now, but we're working closely with the county RPTS, the county legislature, the county executive to go through the new city foreclosure list for those possible sites for future demolition projects. The details of acquiring those properties are still to be ironed out. Our land bank initiative operating funds, we're tracking expenses under the new grant year. Again, just as a reminder, it goes from September to August, beginning of September to the end of August. So it doesn't run consistent with our fiscal year, but we track expenses accordingly. We will probably request our first disbursement before the end of the calendar year, just to wrap things up. Under our land bank initiative phase 2 and P2 capital funds program. Again, we're continuing to track our expenses under our P2 capital grant. Those funds support the land bank's demolition program, pre-development expenses towards our rehabilitation program, and the phase 2 funding would support future acquisition activities. We have submitted our first draw under our P2 grant, which totaled just under $290,000, and we should be receiving that wire transfer any day now. Under our vacant rental program, we've completed our first project at 9 Waldo Ave in Endicott, which is our first VRP project. The property owners are looking for tenants. They've had a lot of interest. Aaron and I had a chance to actually go take a look at the unit. So it's really, really exciting. Property owners are great. So we'll definitely give you folks an update once that's all set in stone. We're in the process of wrapping up the project at 140 Holly Street, and we should be closed out on that project at the end of the year. I am happy to report, at least on face value, the Broome County Land Bank is the first local program administrator under the VRP program to submit a final project completion report to HCR across all of the LPAs across the state.
How is that possible, Jess? Weren't we later than all of them?
Don't know, not exactly sure. We were awarded at the same time. I felt like we were a little bit farther behind than I'd like to be. I'm sure maybe there are some LPAs that have completed projects but have not yet submitted that final review to HCR. But I wanted to make sure that we did submit that final review to HCR, so we knew exactly what's required for every project, and make sure that that is what we set that best practice moving forward. And again, I'm happy to report there was just two very minor administrative preferences that came from HCR that we were able to rectify pretty quickly. So the projects at 18 McGatt Street and 7 Carhart Ave are shaping up to get underway soon. Again, those two projects were using some HUD lead grant funding from the health department. 7 Carhart Ave is underway with the lead abatement contractor, and 18 McGatt Street would be not that far behind. And then what I really wanted to bring the board up to date on is 18 Carey Street. This is the project with DAR developers. So I was able to get a little bit more information. The senator's funding to which the project application has access to is part of the funding that was recently announced to the Southern Door Community Land Trust in late October. As I understand, or as we understand it, the funding is being administered by the New York State Division of the Budget, according to the senator's office directly. It operates on a reimbursable basis, regardless of the nature of the project, which most funding sources do, ours certainly do. So essentially, the senator's funding does not impact how the project was originally presented to the land bank. The property owner would still need to make up the difference with their own capital and seek reimbursement from the SDCLT after the project is complete, at which point the land bank is also eligible to seek reimbursement from HCR for our VRP related expenses. So this is really no different than any other property owner simply attributing their own capital to the project. I would recommend we proceed as presented with the understanding that DAR developers will seek reimbursement for their portion of the expenses after the project is complete.
That part's clear, like they know they can't, not that I would accuse anyone of doing this, but they're clear about not asking for double reimbursement. That part's there's a function in which that's insured kind of thing.
I would be very clear with them what expenses we incurred as the land bank incurred that were VRP eligible and which ones were their capital, right? So, and I'd be very clear with that, and we want to ensure that all of our project applicants, all of our property owners are successful. So from an administrative standpoint, I would say it does not take us any additional time to simply run a report and say, here's how much we spent in VRP, and then here was the difference, and here's how much you can seek reimbursement for. What they do outside that process is up to them.
Do we know if, obviously, like our organization, if we had like a pot of funds, for lack of a better word, from some entity, we would create like a program by which, you know, the owners of 16 Carey? 18 Carey would apply for that, or 123 Main Street, or 456 State Street.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do we know, has the land trust developed that program, or are they just kind of saying, it's not really our business, but like, is there a program that they're creating, I guess, that we should be coordinating with maybe? Or like, is there a program that they've created, or is this just kind of like, hey, we got some money, we might be able to kind of root to, and it's not your responsibility to know the answer, I know. But
I'm not exactly sure. It's sort of like, I mean, if 18 McGatt Street, right? We're gonna have to have a little bit of capital from that property owner.
Yep.
She happens to find a grant source that's willing to fund it, but she's got to put forth her money first. So
Right.
by all means, go for
Yeah.
it. So, but I don't know the nature of what the
Understood.
BCLT.
It might be neat if that entity, if that nonprofit's gonna participate in this kind of activity, if they had a program, we had a program, that would be kind of neat
Mhm.
to know that, and there might be some coordination on it.
Mhm.
Not your responsibility to figure it out, but just
Mhm.
thought process.
Yep.
Mhm.
I think, my understanding is that after a certain period, maybe 10 years, those properties transfer to the community bank trust. It's a new model that they're trying to bring in some private capital, get projects online, obviously with grant support.
Mhm.
Then those units become permanently affordable.
So
That's my
if,
understanding.
so,
And that was
so,
presented to Dasney and everything. That's how they-
okay, so if land trust puts money into something after 10 years, they become property of the land trust, essentially.
Yeah.
What is our time frame for our grant meeting with the requirements that we have?
It's 10 years.
Okay, so I get it. So after 10 years of this program requirements being fulfilled, there's the future of those requirements being fulfilled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like one of our affordable homes, I suppose in 10 years, they can sell it to whoever they want, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, fair enough.
Okay,
Thanks, Tarek. That's
Mhm.
helpful.
okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Any other questions or anything as it relates to that? No?
Just unrelated
Yep.
specifically to that, but sort of generally related. We anticipate applying for more VRP funds.
Yes, I had that.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're totally fine.
Earlier.
No, you're okay. So there was at our last board meeting, we approved projects at 147 Clinton Street and 23 Parsons Street. We're getting ready to go on those. And then HCR just opened up a new round of VRP funding totaling 24 million. And current VRP recipients are eligible to reapply if they've met a certain threshold, which we have. We've allocated almost all of our funds.
Great.
So we would be intent on applying again for projects in our queue and on our wait list.
Okay.
What's the deadline? Because that was you mentioned that last month, that was sort of open.
March?
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll probably put it up real
That
quick.
far?
They just opened it.
We anticipate applying relatively soon, do we not?
Very soon,
Very soon.
very soon,
Very soon.
Okay.
Very soon, Tarek.
don't worry, Rob
Even in the next 30 days or so. possibly.
hasn't gotten any sleep. He's just been writing that entire grant.
Yep.
So we're excited. This application should be a little bit more straightforward and easy, given that
We've already written it.
yes, we've written it before, but then we also have the backup information that we need to substantiate the request. So, we're not just kind of pulling that stuff out of thin air. Okay, our small business tipping fee waiver program, there's an application before the board today to consider an application in or project in Johnson City. This is definitely the most productive year for this program. We're very close to spending the entire allotment for 2025. There is also an item before you today to consider some minor tweaks to our tipping fee waiver program policy for the new year. We'll discuss that more in a little bit. As a reminder, applications are capped at $15,000 each, and small businesses are defined as having 50 employees or less. And we actually further define what a small business is to Broome County in the program policy. Lastly, our administrative and housekeeping items. The monthly optional New York Land Bank Association check-in call will be the Thursday next week. We usually participate. I expect continued discussions about HDR funding options and the upcoming legislative session. As it relates to investments, our deposit placement agreement with MBT Bank and entry fee, we've earned just under $13,000 in interest from the ICS. Okay. And keep earning interest. No.
No. No money.
That's all.
Every place is booked.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Very good. Thank you, Jess. It's great work as always.
The effort.
Yep. Are there any questions for Jess on her report? Okay, thank you for that. Good work as always, Jess, Rob, appreciate what you guys are doing. Lots of fun stuff still in the works and to come. Okay, let's move on to community advisory and public comments. I know we have a gentleman here for his item on the agenda with Harry L. Pub. There'll be a chance for you to say a few words to the board as part of that. You're certainly welcome to say something now too, but when we get to that item on the agenda, we'll give you the floor to say what you want to say. So you don't need to stand up and say anything now unless you have something else on your mind. Nick, of course, thank you for being here. Merry Christmas to you. We're welcome to hear from you too, or anybody else is here. If not, we will go forward. Any public or community advisory panel comments? Now is the time. We'd ask you to introduce yourself and address the board for not more than 5 minutes on land bank.
Don't worry about that. Nick Pappas, town confident, town of Binghamton Road. I got an app, I want to submit an application for that 21 JR Boulevard. Property owner is just gonna walk away from, he's willing to sign it over. It's it's a burned down house. Crossing one of the town parks. It's boarded up now, but all the debris is outside the windows. We're gonna go in and clean up the outside, but, that's the one where the fireman on 4th of July passed away at. So it's just, he's willing to turn it over. I don't know the steps if he turns over to you, to the county, or to the town of Algonquin. Not sure how that works.
There's lots of different options
Mhm.
there. I mean, it could be the town, it could be the land bank. Probably Wendy would say the county is probably the last one that's excited to do that. But any of those entities could accept a property. I would say maybe a conversation offline might be in order, just to talk through the benefits and the drawbacks for each of those options, because there are benefits and drawbacks for each of those options. Nick, by the way, thank you. We love what you're doing in Conklin and Binghamton. Thank you for that. Are you thinking that the land bank would demolish the property? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. There's like I said, the park's across the street. There's a huge lot right next to it. So I would just turn it into green space.
And the town would want to take ownership of it and maintain it as green space?
Yeah, or whoever, or one of the neighbors.
Okay.
So.
I think an offline conversation about that. Wendy, do you want to add something?
No, I think, yes.
Yeah, no, understanding who the neighbors are, if they might have an interest, or if the town will step in, like just understanding all that offline, but I mean.
Do we know if the neighbors have interest in purchasing it?
Haven't approached any of them yet, but like I said, the town would take it if they didn't want it.
Yep.
Okay.
Do we have remaining funds and demolition funds?
We can, yeah.
LBI or other?
Yeah, we definitely have demo funds. That's not an issue. I think it's like the same thing with any type of private property. We've purchased a handful of private properties before. Even for something like this, we would want to pull a title insurance policy. So that's a cost that's on top of that, even though we're demolishing it.
Yep.
So it's just because of the tax foreclosure process wipes all of interest, and that's just a nice way to go about it. So purchasing or even acquiring something off of the private market would require that we.
This would not go through the foreclosure process, so the liens and stuff would still be in place if they exist.
Yeah, there is no insurance on it.
Mhm.
That's why he's bought.
Right.
Okay.
So, just took it over, that happened.
Yep.
Okay.
Are you aware of any liens that he has against or anything like that?
I can tell you that was a ex-Doug Ritter property.
Oh,
Noted.
okay.
We're always happy to work with you guys, you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, touch base with Rob and Jess on it and
Okay.
whoever's appropriate there.
I will give you a call back.
Okay.
Thank you. That'd be great. Okay. Any other public or advisory panel comments? If not, I'll declare that portion of the meeting closed and we'll move on to the new business. Item number 6, resolution authorizing the executive director to enter an agreement with Harry L. Pub LLC. Utilize a portion of the land bank's tipping fee allocation for the demolition of 169 Harry L. Drive in the village of Mount City.
Yep.
Jess, would you brief the board and then we'll
Yep.
open it up for conversation?
Yeah. So this is a commercial property that's it's on the same side of the street as Harry L. Pub, but it's like across from Myrtle. And the applicant is seeking some tipping fee waiver credits from the land bank to demolish that property for additional parking for the Harry L. Pub, which is nearby. This project was brought to us by LCP Group. They've already completed a pre-demo asbestos survey, abated any friable asbestos. So this debris would be going clean. As we know, any applicants under our small business tipping fee waiver program, all of that debris has to be clean moving forward until the Broome County landfill can accept ACM. So this would be the final, obviously, the final application that we would consider in 2025, and this would essentially bring the amount of the funding available to almost to zero or very, very close.
Very close.
Very close.
Okay.
Yep. And we have the applicant with us today.
Sir, what would you like to say? You have a few minutes to brief us on your project.
Right, so I purchased this property with intention of back. I've always wanted to put a parking lot across the street and stuff. The street up Myrtle Ave, the cars are parked everywhere. It's kind of a safety issue.
It's a crazy neighborhood in that regard for stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars. They park all the way up the road. I want to get those cars off the street.
Yep.
Also, in the front of that property, next year, I want to build a ice cream stand. That's the, the chicken, barbecue chicken, ice cream stand. So it'll be a brand new structure that's on that
Cool.
property. It's a long, deep property,
Mhm.
and they've already spent $10,000 of tree removal and concrete block, and so I'm just gonna build this moving forward.
This is just across Myrtle from the area club. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I see it.
So it's right across the street.
Mhm.
So customers, cars, there's so much parking. There could potentially,
There could be.
well, there is.
Mhm.
Not well, so. Yeah, I could have 20 cars over there. That'll free up that whole street, just.
Yeah.
And the building, it's time for it to go. So,
Is there anything in there now in the building?
no. There was tenants there was some dog room. It's, tenant out back. I went, asked them to leave. I gave them 3 months notice. They moved out and the building's been vacant on some.
Thank you for that. Any questions from the board? Mr. Sopcich, thank you. We have a motion to authorize the executive director to enter an agreement with the Harry L. Pub to access the tipping fee waiver program. We have a motion by Mr. Sopcich. Do we have a second?
Second.
Tom, thank you. Tom Augustini, thank you. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. That carries. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome to hang out. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't.
Quick question, yes, you hear about it from LCP after CHM? So was it beforehand you heard about this?
She told me about this after
Yeah.
I paid for it.
Still trying to hope that our marketing has reached people, but
I know.
contractors are our best agents.
Yeah.
Good work.
I would just remind you, I'm absolutely confident that Jess and Rob have said this to you and Christina a million times. Just make sure, don't just demo it until you connect with them, because the process has to be done up at the landfill. And if LCP shows up there with a truck of stuff and they're not aware, that doesn't go well for any of us. So just make sure that you get in touch and that the logistics are sorted out first before you give LCP the permission to hit the plunger and.
I'd also offer this
Consider
too.
it.
I don't know if you plan to do any type of media, but if you do, we'd love to be a part of it. So Christina loves to do media sometimes, and
she does.
then we like to be involved in
Yep.
that if we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, speaking of tipping fee waiver programs,
Oh, always with the angle over there.
that door. Robert, you mind
Oh,
opening that
thanks.
door back up again? I just don't want it to seem as if we're,
Mhm.
thanks. We have an item on the agenda related to amending the small business tipping fee waiver program. I think everybody knows over the past year or so, there's been a couple of things that have kind of jumped out to us as a board and Jess and Rob as a staff about the program. Not major changes, but just things maybe we ought to tweak or talk about a little bit. Jess, you or Rob, who's the right one? Let's just talk, maybe you can brief us a little bit about what you guys are thinking and why.
We do this.
Okay,
Yes.
so, yeah, obviously, we ran into a few situations. Obviously, we're changing in the first bullet point that operate a small business in Broome County. That's part of the intention of the program. With the second bullet here that we've added, sorry, go ahead,
So you have to be a business?
in Broome County, yes.
Yeah.
That's the intention of the program.
No residential. So I can't just say demolish the back shed in my house. Small business tipping fee waiver.
Next one is a situation we ran into, I think it was last year, where it was now we're adding that the applicant must have legal ownership of the property, basically at the time of application. There was an application you all approved, I believe it was last year. Unfortunately, that never came to fruition because the applicant, though they got the approval, did not own the property, was trying to close, and that never came to fruition.
It makes sense to have people come to us when they actually own something.
Correct.
Rather than being speculative.
And that's why these are all like underlined and in red. It should be in the PDF. A few bullet points down. If the business or LLC is not owned by a sole proprietor, a copy of the LLC operating agreement or other business agreement, so we can identify all the ownership partners of said organization. A little bit farther down, all required municipal permits and or approvals relating to the designated project site must be received and submitted at the time of application. That was also due to an application you guys approved at the very end of last year, did not come to fruition because they did not have caught approval, and then it had to be reconsidered again a month later in January earlier this year. And then on page 2, we just added some at the bottom. That residentially zoned parcels or properties that are occupied and associated outbuildings are ineligible for the program. And then last, selected haulers and respective accounts at the Broome County landfill must be in good standing.
I think all of them are straightforward. I'll say that the most recent one, that second to last bullet, was associated with the fact there was, third ties to what Wendy was saying. The intention of the program is not to demolish residential properties. Like we'll never, like there's just too many of that, right? This doesn't prohibit, just correct me if I'm wrong, this doesn't prohibit, right, Rob?
Correct.
The demolition of residential properties, but we're not demolishing occupied things.
Outbuildings, like Dinosaur Dental had a good project over in Endicott, and it was a residential property, but it was blighted, condemned, not occupied, outbuilding, out garage that was condemned. It was bad. But like, again, the point is to sort of prevent landlords, well-intentioned, from, removing their outbuildings while they have a fully occupied residential building. I'm not sure if that's particularly in line with the intent of the funding that the county executive and the legislature originally allocated towards the program.
I would say it's not.
Yeah. I know the one on Pine Street was another residential property, but that had been burned out and was right next to, and it was expanding the parking lot for the veterans, the VA.
VA. Oh, yeah,
The
VA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But that one clearly needed to come down.
it was unoccupied. It was burned out.
Yes.
Like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
So we don't want to hurt those business owners.
Yes.
Right. Chris, you had your hand up.
I was gonna ask for elucidation on why we're adding the specific bullet point, but you've already handled that.
Yeah. I would just say, I had some clarity last month about particular application fitting in or not.
Mhm.
I don't think it was bad application. That wasn't commenting on that, but I think clarifying and going forward. And this is good work, Rob and Jess. I think this incorporates things that we've figured out over the past year. Sort of just to clean up. So, okay. Comments? If not, I'd entertain a motion to amend the small business tipping fee waiver program policy as presented by Rob and Jess. Wendy, do we have a second? Tarek, thank you. All those, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries. Thank you. Okay. More renovation homes. 27 Columbia Avenue, Clearview Door and Window was the winning bid, I understand.
Yes.
Jess, what would you like to tell us about that?
Okay, so we seem to be going back and forth between Malarkey Construction and Clearview Door and Window every time we bid. Malarkey gets one, Clearview gets the next, and so on and so forth. So this is 27 Columbia Avenue in the city of Binghamton. This would be our second to last project that we can fund with city ARPA funds. The ones to come will be funded with Land Bank Initiative funds. But Clearview Door and Windows total bid, including the window replacements, is $231,100, and we are requesting $255,000 just in case there's any change orders above that, and we don't have to come back to the board to ask for approval. Historically with Clearview, everything has been largely kosher. If there was, sometimes we have to put in, the sump pump or the French drain or whatever that is and
Radon system,
radon systems, those are
or
fun.
do we do that just routinely now in every one of our projects?
Not everyone.
Okay.
Not everyone.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Great. Chris, you had a question?
Nope,
Comment?
not gonna comment. on
Director,
big
or
radar.
otherwise?
Nope.
Nope.
Just
Okay.
keep it rolling.
Any further questions or comments on this project? If not, entertain a motion to award a contract to Clearview Door and Window for the renovations and reconstruction of 27 Columbia Avenue in the city of Binghamton, which would be the second to last renovation project under ARPA. It's pretty good work. We have a motion. Mike, second, Tarek, nodding. All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It carries. All right.
What's the total?
255.
That's what I'm.
255.
So Matt, when they.
That's with a
With a
football cushion.
With a contingency.
But you're adding in the itemized. Alternate for the windows.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, we're taking the window replacements. Like the windows are okay, but according to our architect and engineering firm, the bid on the add alternate was fair. So they recommended that we move forward with that. Mhm.
Can we
We're
keep
gonna
the
go-
window trim and
Yes.
such around those
Yes,
windows?
we're keeping all that. We're just replacing the vinyl windows. Mhm.
It's nice there.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful little house.
It's all oak.
Mhm.
Have I been there?
Yeah, maybe.
Probably not. Can't remember.
It's really nice.
Time
Yeah.
flies. Okay, yeah, good.
Some of it's painted.
Probably have. Where's Columbia?
On the south side.
Yeah, okay, nice.
Mhm.
All right, good. Number 9, resolution authorizing administrative services agreement with Broome County for administration of the Broome County Land Bank for 2026. This is an annual resolution. Jess, you wanna tell everybody about it again?
Yep, so we're proposing that the Land Bank Board act upon this before the Broome County Legislature does. This administrative services agreement typically goes before the Broome County Legislature at the final session of the year. We do have the PSI figures which are listed in the reso itself. So for the salary and benefits for the executive director, which also encompasses a $1,500 line item for supplies and technology and things like that, represent $140,575 for 2026. And then for the assistant director, $132,709 for 2026.
Those are some decent salaries. I'm just getting their benefits. I know, getting their benefits.
But yeah,
Okay.
decent salaries.
Yeah, benefits included, just to be clear, that's the all-in cost.
Yeah.
As everybody knows, we've enjoyed an administrative services agreement with the county since the inception of the land bank. It makes our lives easier because the county does all of the personnel type stuff for the land bank, and we don't have to do that all ourselves. So, and so long as the land bank and the county want to continue doing that, I think we should. Anybody have any questions on this resolution? If not, entertain a motion to authorize the renewal of the admin services agreement with Broome County between Broome County and the land bank for 2026. We have a motion. Tom, thank you. A second, Chris. All those any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes. Item number 10. Resolution setting the 2026 annual board meeting.
This resolution steals my thunder.
Yeah,
It
Rob, do
doesn't-
you wanna introduce this?
What day do we have here, Rob?
January 20th. That's when Aaron always looks at me and says, when's the next meeting?
January 20th.
If you'll have us.
If we'll have it, third Tuesday of
Yes.
January. Any comments on that? Not entertain a motion to set the annual meeting of the Broome County Land Bank for January 20th, 2026. Chris, we have a second. Wendy, thank you. All those, and I don't think we need to discuss anymore. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. That brings us to the end of our regular business. There's one other item I think that everybody knows about, that I need to, announce and have Jess, or you can, one of us can announce, you can announce, or I can announce. And then, talk for just a second about how we're gonna move forward, I think, in the short term. And then there'll be a time to discuss it and move forward in the longer term too. But I'm pleased to announce, that I think it's with some sadness, but some happiness, that I extended an offer to Jess Haas to become a chief of staff at the county clerk's office. She's accepted that position. I'm excited about that. I will say it's bittersweet, I think, for all of us. Jess, you've done an outstanding job with the land bank. I barely remember a time, and I think it's how my mind works anyway. I just forget things in the past, but I barely remember a time before you, like the land bank has moved forward so much. I think the COVID probably made our memories hazy, everybody's memory hazy before that. But we've come so far over this past 6 years. There's so many projects that have gone forward because of the work you put into it. We're appreciative of that. So thank you. I'm excited for where the land bank is today because of the work that you, with help from Rob and the board, have put in on this. I think we can just kind of travel around Broome County and see some of that work, and you should be proud of that. I know I'm proud of it. I think we all are proud of it. Doesn't mean there's not more things we can do down the road, but I think we've come a long way, and that is largely because of the work that you've done. So thank you for that. I'm excited about working with you in a different way, and I know Chris is excited about working with you in a different way too. We're excited for that, but thank you for everything you've done for the land bank. Do you want to
Thank you.
say anything?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get a little emotional. So I did, you all know me, I like to write things down. So I'd like to thank each and every one of you who supported my initial appointment in 2019. I'm certainly a novice at the time, and I cannot thank each and every one of you for having faith and trust in me to lead the organization into what it is today. Like Aaron mentioned, when I first started, not in my wildest dreams could I have imagined our growth to this day. Our budget has grown 4 times, but we've been able to do so many different things. But you all know I'm pretty nerdy and I love statistics, so I figured I'd just mention a few things that we've all been able to accomplish together over the past 6 years. So since January 2020, the land bank has acquired 49 blighted properties. We renovated 16 of them, 15 of which of those 16 were single-family affordable home ownership projects. So we provided 16 individuals or families with their first opportunity to own a home. We demolished 33 eyesores of our own with countless other partnerships with municipalities, nonprofits, and small businesses throughout the county to eliminate blight. And we secured over $8 million in competitive capital grant funds and just about $1 million in non-competitive operating grant funds. So none of these accomplishments would have been possible without the unwavering support of each and every one of you, our county legislature, the county executive, and so many others, including our strong partnership with the city and New York State Homes and Community Renewal. So Aaron mentioned earlier, our brains are a little bit foggy. So this meeting is certainly a little bittersweet because I vaguely recall probably my first or second meeting maybe not being the best. I was still trying to get my feet underneath me and learning how to do. I remember a finance committee meeting. I was explaining a budget I didn't know a whole lot about, but we got through it. And then we were all thrust into COVID, which was definitely a great learning experience. So I'd like to thank you all for your patience with me as I got my feet underneath me. And I really hope I was able to make each and every one of you proud over the past 6 years. I'm incredibly confident in working with Rob these past 2 years, that the organization is set up for long-term success. There's, of course, so much work to do in the years ahead. I'm always, looking for the next best thing and always chasing after the next best thing. So I definitely won't be a stranger, as the land bank has a huge spot in my heart. And if the board or Rob needs anything at any point, you know how to find me. I'm not too far away. Lastly, I'd like to give a special thanks to Aaron. Sorry, I'm gonna get emotional. I'm sure this probably won't come as a surprise to any of you, but I'm confident saying that if Aaron was not as involved as he was as board chair when I began my tenure, I don't know if we'd be where we are as an organization. He knew everything. He knew where every project stood. He knew where our finances stood. He could explain how to report to enterprise on this and how to talk to Tanya and all these different things. He helped me along with every little thing in the early days and has served as an exceptional advisor along the way. Although I'm leaving the land bank, I'm excited for the opportunity to continue to work with Aaron and support him in his new.
Thank you.
It's been an honor. Thank you.
We appreciate you, Jess.
Sorry,
I will say, just to add on, when those of you who were on the board, Mike was on the board, Tarek was on the board, Tom was on the board, Mayor, were you on the board at that time? Can't remember. Chris, oh, Chris Babstrack. Yeah. The way in which the last transition happened was not 100% ideal. Due to circumstances outside of her control. I will say that, Jess stepped up right away, like, she didn't miss a beat on it. That doesn't mean there wasn't one or two bumps. You know, you left me to try to figure out that you didn't, but I was left to sort of figure out what to do in those couple of months between directors. You give me credit I don't deserve. It was a bit bumpy. But you stepped in right away. You've done a great job. I'm really proud of where the organization is. I think we should all be proud of that. That's not to say that every single thing that the land bank could possibly do, are we doing, right? But like when we look at the partnerships that we've put together with the city, for instance, right, with the mayor, mayor at that time, with ARPA funds, right? Like that is something that I don't know that any land bank has that, right? Maybe they do, and I don't know about it, but I
They
mean,
do now. I believe, I could be wrong, Tarek might know this. I think we were the first land bank to receive ARPA funds for affordable housing projects.
yeah,
I know there was several land banks before that received ARPA funding for demos, but for affordable housing projects, I think we were the first.
so we've got a forward-looking, city administration and a willing partner in the land bank to do stuff like that. That doesn't always happen, right? Like those relationships don't always happen. Sometimes it's personality even. We got a situation where we have strong support from the county executive, Jason Garner, the legislature, Dan Reynolds, and the other legislators in a nonpartisan way, like very nonpartisan way. That is a testament to the work you've been doing and the work that the board's been doing. Again, it doesn't mean we always agree on everything, right? And that's okay. But we've been able to work those things out together. And when you think about ARPA money from the city, ARPA money from the county, other money from the county, tons of money that you and Rob have been able to obtain from the state, our strong partnerships with the state agencies, which is not always an easy thing to sort through either, right? We're in this spot because of the work that you've done largely, with some help from Rob, some help from the rest of the board. So we appreciate what you've done for the land bank. Everybody here in the community should recognize that the land bank has been brought to the place we are today because of the work that you and the rest of the board have put in. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel very confident that in the interim, Rob O'Donnell is well positioned to step up and handle the duties. We will have to support him in that effort because you can't take Jess, right, who's a star now here, and Rob, who has stepped up hugely the past 2 years, and just say, here you go figure it out. Like that will not work. So we all need to be a part of helping to make that work. I know Jess is committed to that behind the scenes too. I'm committed to that, Rob. I think you've done a great job over the past couple of years. The secret plan for Jess to go out on leave, to see, what would happen while she was out. It worked. It was her own secret plan. We didn't know, none of us knew anything about it other than her. But I think things went well during that time. Everybody has a different personality approach to the way that they do things. I think yours will be different than Jess's, and that's good. That's okay. Right. We're excited about the opportunity. I'm excited about the opportunity for you to step in to do that. I think there's a chance for us to talk early next year about the long-term plan for the land bank. But I'll tell you personally, speaking for myself personally, I'm confident in Rob's abilities. And I think we're going to see over the next month between now and the next organizational meeting that things are going just fine, just like they were over those few months when Jess was out. And I'm excited about the opportunity, hopefully, to present to you all about a plan going forward. But there'll be a chance to discuss that, like we always do. Rob, do you have anything you want to say?
I just want to thank you for that opportunity. I'm not gonna lie, gonna miss Jess. It'll be, I think, 3 years at the end of January, roughly.
Oh,
Because I came in
Time
January
flies.
of 23.
Mhm.
Doesn't feel like it's been 3 years. It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to continuing to support the organization in the interim and however I can support the organization well into the future. And I appreciate all of you, and I especially appreciate Jess's mentorship over this last 4 years. It's meant a lot. I've learned a lot, and I don't think I'd have the confidence and the ability to do this type of work without her leadership over these last 3 years. So
one way or another, we're going to have to work on capacity for the land bank, whether that's Rob as director and filling behind or otherwise. So we're not going to leave you hanging for too long, although I did get left maybe for like 3 months, 2 or 3 months. That was not easy, but you'll be fine, and we're here to support you. Any other comments from board members?
Always wondered, is there any money in the budget to give her a going away party?
This might be in your personal budget. Your personal budget. We'll take a collection after the formal meeting is done. Thank you for that, Mike. I'm hoping there'd be a comment such as that. Anybody else wanna make any comments?
Send your personal note, but just very quick, I think you've done exception. Good luck with the new position. I think we'll be in great hands, in the interim and likely the term, and getting Rob the support that he needs. Same level that you said, standard. I have one question, just in your role, because you switch, because I know a lot of these positions are ex officio, I completely forgot.
Yep.
Are you you can still serve as chairman, and it's
Yes.
not because of your clerk position, it's because you're
Correct.
appointed by the Republic.
I'm appointed by the county legislature.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. the county.
Yes.
Okay.
So my position on the board is not due to the position I serve in the county.
Gotcha.
It's an appointment, so all appointments will be up, correct me if I'm wrong, at the end of 2026. So I plan to continue serving unless my appointing authorities were to request otherwise, which I don't anticipate they would do. But I still do plan to serve on the board of the land bank. It's a good point, a good question. This question came up the other day. There is an annual meeting in January, and all leadership positions are up for a vote at that time. So I'm not going to be presumptuous about anything, right? There will be 9 or however many members hopefully on the board. There's a vacancy, I think, right now that we have to fill. I know that the appointing authority is aware of that vacancy, but there will be at least 8, 7 or 8, 9 board members, who knows, at that time. And there will be leadership votes like there is every January, so.
And then others want to also
Yep.
sharing comments, but just before, because this, I think, involves the transition. I think I'm behind on my ABO training. So can you just make sure to do a wrap up for all the board members so we stay in compliance and we know if we have a deadline that we need to have?
Yes,
Yep.
and just to for the record, just to clarify.
Yeah.
New board members have to complete an ABO training. It is recommended that board members do training every 3 years to
Thanks, Nick.
refresh their memory.
Got it.
So you're not in compliance. No one's not in compliance. Everyone's done their training. It's just highly recommended. And
I think we've had a approach from
Yes.
our organization over time that we do those as they come up again, even if
Correct.
it's a bit delayed. I know I'm still working through some of the annual mandated county
Mhm.
trainings that are due at the end of the year too, so
Yep.
it's sort of the same spot.
Yep.
But, okay, Mayor.
Yeah, just congratulations, Jeff,
Thank you.
and I know you'll definitely be missed.
thank you.
Just want to say, Rob, I think we're doing a great job as well, and I don't know what sort of timeline that you're looking at, but if you need to bring in somebody as an acting deputy for a period of time to provide assistance, just speaking for myself, I'll be supportive of that, because, you don't want to dump everything on Rob, but I know you said in January you'll have a plan that we can talk about, and great
Yeah.
to have, but whatever you need to have to go through the transition, so it's a much smoother one. I think just speaking to myself, we'd be supportive of that.
Thanks, Rich. One of the things that we were talking about in the midterm, we really want to make sure that whoever comes behind, if that's the approach we take, is the right person. One of the suggestions Jess had, I know Rob's obviously in the mix in this too, is there some help where we could bring in someone like on a temporary basis, like maybe one of our former interns or something like that, who knows what we do, who has done agendas for us and other kind of work for Rob before. That might be one potential sort of thing to get Rob some help in the short term.
Yeah.
While we figure out what the longer term approach is. But I do agree with your assessment. We have to provide Rob with the support he needs in that meantime. Now, the next couple of weeks might be, comparatively quiet. It's based on the holidays, but come January, we'll be back at it. None of these projects are stopping in that time. So your point's a good one. I think in the short term, we need to do that probably. I know you and I discussed a little bit the other day about potentially doing that, Rob. That's That's something we'll need to talk more about too, but
Oh, yeah.
I agree, short-term help, and then figure out sort of longer term how we're gonna approach it.
I would offer this too. Just remember, we do have a per diem contract with Paul Nelson, who's
Right.
helped us on a handful of different grants. So I know he would be very, very helpful as it relates to navigating this or navigating that, or even, assisting in reviewing a grant application or some monitoring report that comes from anything. Paul's there. He's just a
He's
phone
good.
call away.
Yep.
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah.
Other comments from board members?
My
Wendy.
only comment is, because we're in a hiring freeze, the county is, and we do that in kind.
Yep.
Does that affect anything? Like, do
Um,
you have to get some type of approval, any of that kind of thing? I mean, I realize
Yeah.
that there's a vacancy with you leaving, but that doesn't mean that you get to fill it because there's a vacancy.
Mhm.
I'm confident, it's a very good point. I've thought
Because
about,
of because of the hiring freeze.
I've thought about that as it relates to both the land and the county clerk's office.
Mhm.
I'm very
Yeah.
confident that we'll be able to work through that process. I mean, ultimately, it's a shared services agreement. The salary of the deputy director is covered
Yes,
by a grant.
Grant.
So I think our case would be pretty strong that it's still a
It's already
net.
funded.
Yeah, exactly. It's already funded. It's a net wash or even a net decrease, because I mean, just no matter how we do this, there's going to be
A lapse of time.
a lag between January 1st and getting I mean, we're just
Yeah.
not gonna get somebody in there on January 1st. So my argument, it would be a net savings. That's it,
Yep.
right? But your point's a very good one. Yeah.
Salary. savings.
Salary savings, yeah, exactly. Okay, any other further comments? If not, any other comments about anything?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
Yep. Just quickly with the auction, I went.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it, fascinated. So many people, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Can you just clarify, so there were some that were pulled and those, you're in discussion with the land
Three.
bank? Three, are they?
No, the ones that were pulled were actually at the request of the mayor.
Okay, are they demolition or are they?
I believe that's, well, one of them is land, is a vacant piece of
Okay.
land, and the other two he had requested for
Okay,
demolition, yes. The ones that we are discussing for land bank acquisition were never in the auction to begin with.
let's talk about that for a second.
Yes,
Then.
yeah.
no, they
Maybe good.
were, I know they were pulled from the list, but are you using language, very careful?
No.
I'm
I mean.
staring over. them. So then we're
Big
gonna,
brother's always watching.
He's looking at me, I don't know, the eyes, it's kind of disturbing.
I'm sorry,
we're gonna do the appraisal, we pay
we,
for it?
we, the real property is.
Okay,
Mhm.
Yes.
And then it'll be added as an allowable fee when the land bank acquires them from the county.
Like the taxes.
Yep.
Yep.
And
So
Yep.
this is a good line of questioning because we've got two different categories of properties here. We have demolitions,
Mhm.
which are sort of handled one way because there's theoretically no value to it, right? We sort of have a model for that we talked through. There is identified rehab properties too, right, Wendy and Jess?
Yes.
How many is there of those?
Five.
Five of those that we've tentatively identified, that they're trying to work through that all.
Mhm.
They'll eventually come
Oh,
here,
okay.
like in a list for you guys to consider.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So-
there's five there. How many demos is there?
8?
Six. Well,
Six.
initially. I chose six off the list,
Yes.
but then we've also chose two more.
Okay,
So tentatively, there would be 8 demos,
and then there's a
5
whole
rehabs,
separate
and
group
then 3
from the city.
vacant land. Those, yeah, right.
Yes.
So there's a few different.
Moving parts. Yeah,
Yes,
all from the, all in the city?
all city of Binghamton properties.
all in the city. So I think the demos are demos, right? You're gonna drive by and you're gonna think and there's probably not
Yeah.
much discussion to be had for that. But
Right.
there's 5 rehabs.
Yes,
That are sort of under discussion. As everybody knows, the way the process works now, the county is liable for, we had this came up, the county is liable for, essentially in this situation, potentially liable for the difference in the appraised value and the back taxes. That number is significant.
Mhm.
We have talked to the county executive's office, and the county legislature, and we believe we have a path forward to address their need to basically have that money when someone comes back and asks for it, because that's probably gonna happen, because that's been what's been happening.
Yes.
We have a way forward in which the county will help the land bank financially in order to obtain those properties, and then the back end, the land bank will be in a position to help cover the county should that claim be made. There'll be more on that at a future board meeting, and we got to talk through that, but I think there's a process here that protects the county, protects the land bank, and rehabs properties and gets them out of the auction process.
So what is the county, the county just, after the property is auctioned off, they kind of, they withhold the back taxes or the back
So-
taxes that they're owed, and then potentially if there is a equity surplus, based on the auction, the property owner is.
It's a good question.
Entitled to the surplus,
Yeah,
right?
so as it relates to auction, there's three ways, but really two
Two.
ways at which value is established. One is an appraisal, we talked about that before. The other is auction, and I think there's a lawsuit on this out there, so who knows if it'll stay that way. But auction, like the amount that something sells for at auction, is determined to be the value.
Establishes the value.
Established value, even if it's less than what the appraisal is.
But the county does have the ability to take the taxes that they're owed or? not?
Yes, off the top.
Okay.
Yep.
It should, but that's assuming that there's
A
enough,
surplus.
That's the quandary.
or that there's enough that covers the tax.
Yes.
In the last auction, or this current auction.
Mhm.
What is the number that I think you know this number, Wendy. What is the number that the county made other governments whole? Do we know on this list of auction properties? It was a lot of money, right? We're talking like $1 million or something. So the county is trying to make at least $1 million to cover that, right? But anything above the back tax amount and minor fees,
Sits in an escrow account
Yeah.
for at least
Yeah.
3 years in case the former owner comes back for a surplus.
So they were budgeting the surplus too, and they have to now have to peel the surplus off, but can keep the taxes, which. they're
Right.
entitled to begin with.
keep the taxes.
Right,
Yeah,
it just cancels out that lien that's sitting on the
Yeah.
books.
yeah. The bad part is that in the past, as everybody here knows, the surplus achieved at auctions, which I know is controversial in and of itself, but was being used to like pay the people who do the work at real
Right.
property, right? And to pay other.
We were a revenue generating department.
Exactly, you
Not
cover
every
your costs.
property, they cover taxes, or not every property sold covers taxes.
Right, I mean, generally speaking, yes.
It was.
Did it work out okay this?
Now, yeah.
Generally,
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
We didn't suffer a lot of losses. I mean,
Historically, maybe
a
not.
property like 59 Leicester that had, you know,
Right,
millions of dollars worth of delinquent taxes.
You're underwater.
You can't catch up
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that, but,
Right.
you know,
so
overall, yes.
you've got a situation where you made back sort of the liens or whatever that we had, like the county taxes, but we don't get to keep the extra money, right? It's sitting in an
Right,
escrow,
it sits in an escrow.
waiting for someone to come and get it. And I think we're in a spot, I think the county attorney told me somewhat recently that we've got a pile
We do.
of 3 years worth of back claims. I think we had to go 3
We've
years
got a
back.
lot, yes.
So we're liable, we being the county are liable essentially for 3 years back on claims.
Yes.
So
So they
There's no
filed
money.
with the court. So
Yeah.
what they do is file with the court. And then the court has to make the decision. Then the court
Yep.
tells us that we have to pay them.
So the county now does all the work for the homeowner.
somebody's happy.
Because we're a real estate agent,
Somebody's happy.
Right, you're rich.
Yeah, someone's happy.
a non-commissioned.
Right.
The good thing here is that we've talked for a long time about how we're gonna handle this, like a really long time. Can we still get properties? I think that I wouldn't blame a county for saying, I don't wanna deal with you, just go to the auction like everybody else. There's much less risk and exposure. I would not blame a real property director, a county attorney, or others for saying that. I wouldn't blame them. I will say in this situation, I think it's been really good that the real property director, the county attorney, the executive legislature did not say that. We figured out a way, I think, to go forward and keep renovating properties, even though there is some risk to everybody in that process. But I think, Jess coming up with a parameter of how that could be approached and then sort of talking it out with you guys has ended up. We're gonna be fine and we're not gonna, the land bank is not gonna be exposed financially, like significantly financially in order to make that work continue to happen.
Even before the Tyler case, the Rochester Land Bank, they would appraise, they'd identify the properties they wanted, would have them appraised. And then they had board authority to go bid up to that amount. And many times they were getting it below the appraisal. Which is now what's gonna be discussed at the Supreme Court this time.
Yeah.
But this last year, it was almost every property was above appraisal.
Are you, so
Auction.
are you,
It's crazy.
you heard that all around the state, not just here?
Yeah,
Yeah, interesting.
yeah. I mean, I've heard it in pockets,
Yeah.
right? Not like
Yeah.
canvassed all.
Yeah, it's not
30
scientific, right?
land bank, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's, wow.
Interesting.
So I was curious, did you do any appraisals on those that were offered?
So we made the decision of select properties that we didn't even put in the auction to have appraisals done on them, so the land bank could acquire them.
Right.
But you
I
didn't
was
appraise
curious.
land, you didn't appraise
ones that-
auction properties.
No, I would that would be a huge expense.
Yeah, for sure.
I was just curious, like, I passed by it, like a few, because
Those properties went high.
Yeah.
You were there.
This-
Higher than you
properties went
thought they
high.
would appraise, higher than you thought they would appraise for, if we were to appraise them? The county that is?
The properties at auction,
Yeah,
they sold high. They sold high.
Yeah, then the rent.
Some of those
properties,
properties
like
I was,
Over 120,000.
Yeah.
And it's gonna require a lot of work,
mhm,
but I mean, a lot of these single family, two families, they would go for 7,000. 15, 20 years ago. And
Yeah.
the sweet spot was like 45,000.
Oh.
yeah.
Just like,
I mean, there was a couple of properties that the mayor requested for demo. And
Yeah.
one of them sold for 45,000.
yeah. I was, well,
One of the other ones he asked sold for 58,000.
wow.
And
Wendy,
it was like,
I always hate to ask this question, is this out of town buyers who didn't ever look at it and are never gonna close?
no, they'll close.
Or is it
They'll
like
all close.
one person's demolition property is another person's investment property, is it?
I mean, the people that won't close are
Right.
the ones that bought like little slivers of land.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
a lot of them
So
were
second
not,
round.
online bidders won a few, but the
Mm-hmm.
majority were people in the room and you could tell that they're involved.
They were
in
anxious.
it Here.
Because we haven't had an auction in 2
Yeah.
years. They have been chomping at the bit.
And you have another one, you have another list coming sometime next year, right?
So
Countywide?
There.
Or outside
there
the
are
city?
Two, final redemption dates right now.
I got you.
One is in March and one is in April, so,
Okay.
Depending on how long it takes. It takes us about a month, once those dates are up, to get our paperwork done, and to the judge. But unfortunately, as we all know, this particular judgment sat at the court from, the first week in February until October 6th.
Right. Right.
So,
And Judge Crowley is retiring?
supposed to be, yes.
I heard that rumor. Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
So hopefully, once we get our paperwork ready, hopefully, the judgments don't hang out at the court for
Yep.
that length of time.
I think the
But we
good
own
news,
a lot of inventory, a lot.
I think the good news is that we've got 5 properties
Mhm.
potentially, I mean, that information will be shared. I know you gotta work some stuff out, right? Not really
Yeah.
quite there yet, but
Yes,
5 potential properties for rehab in the city to keep coming through the pipeline.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So, and that's an LBI, those are LBI related renovations.
Yeah, and the rest of our,
Money's basically.
yeah, the rest of our ARPA funds, Mayor, what I expressed during our award of 27 Columbia Ave is that's the second to last ARPA project in the city. We have enough funds to put towards an additional property, but it may not cover it all. So like these 5 that would come in, those funds would just close it out.
Yep, and we have receipts from the sale of those properties.
Yes.
That we can use to recycle into the program, which the city is okay with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
I think that's. Rob, you're not gonna be bored.
I do not believe I will be bored.
I mean, the one Columbia here this is the last one, the last renovation currently we have.
Currently in our
There's 5
inventory,
more
yes.
coming.
There's 5 more coming.
Looking forward to it.
There it is.
And
Thank
as
you.
soon as the county takes possession, lien are wiped away.
They are.
So that's probably the next lawsuit.
So that's the biggest difference between a a tax foreclosure and a bank foreclosure.
Yeah.
Tax
Yeah.
foreclosure wipes the liens away, a bank foreclosure does not.
Right.
Correct.
So if I have a lien, but then the difference between the taxes, the old taxes, and what it sells for goes to the owner. my lien
It can
should
go to
still-
any lien holder. If
Yeah,
you are
that's
a
the
mortgage
thing.
holder, you can also file for surplus as well.
I can go after that pool of money.
Correct.
So the speculation has always been, of course, that this lawsuit was more about that part of it than it was about sort of the public narrative that was portrayed
Yeah.
about
Mhm.
it. But by the way, I don't blame those who have liens against property for wishing to pursue that. I don't blame them.
But anybody that has a lien gets notified before we foreclose. So it's not like they didn't have every opportunity to pay
Yeah.
and to protect their interest. They've had every opportunity.
Fact of the matter is, this has changed through no fault of our own. We cannot change it. I think we're in a spot though where, really through Jess, your work with Wendy and with Cheryl and the executives team and legislature, I think we're able to figure out a good path forward for us. Maybe different than what Onondaga County or whomever else is doing,
Yep.
but I think we've got a good path forward, at least for now, to keep moving on projects. And thank you guys.
But you can get multiple parties trying to claim that pool.
So you have to claim through the court and the court has to determine.
Who's getting paid first?
Yeah,
Correct.
good luck. That's a fun time.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good comment. Any other comments from the board? Or
I have
Jess?
one thing,
Yep.
for those board members who were able to attend, my last class at BU. The students did a great job, in their presentations for land banks, they did really well, the folks from Shenango County, who is, the executive director of Commerce Shenango, the county attorney, the county chair, county treasurer, and the mayor-elect from Norwich, attended in person, and the individual to, convinced to establish a land bank was the chair and the attorney, and it appears as if they've been convinced. So maybe they will be starting their own land bank. So it's exciting. Students did a great job. They were really excited to tell me at the end of the class that they were able to work on some practical projects throughout the semester, and that when they started the class, they had no idea what a land bank was, and now they know everything about it.
There were three counties you were working with, right?
Yes.
Shenango and,
Shenango, Schuyler, and Genesee.
Good.
Yep, they were all great to work with. They were all really involved with the students. It was really good. And I hope I left a good impression.
I'm sure you did. I spoke at one of, attended with a few others at one of the meetings. I did come at the very end of the thing on Thursday too.
Yep.
Though you did a great job. The students are like a really practical, hands-on thing.
Mhm.
That's great to be able to have that
Yep.
experience coming out rather than just some sort of high-level academic activity.
Great papers.
Very
So
nice.
I graded a lot of memos. Graded a lot of memos, but I didn't want to grade a 10-page paper.
Okay, anything else from board members or Jess or Rob? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn until our next meeting on January 20th, which will be our organizational meeting, our annual meeting. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Everybody's nodding and Tark's gonna raise his hand. And Rich, thank you. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We're adjourned. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yeah.